Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. It is 2100 hours local time, 1800 Zulu. Everyone in chat, welcome aboard. Rand, Cooley, Eric, Omari, Joseph, it's been a while, my friend. Welcome from the Caribbean. Rand, Cooley, welcome aboard. And we have Niels today with us, Thrust Set Simulations. Welcome, Thomas 13, Steph, Chris, James, Stan, Ray Walton, Renan D. Oliveira, welcome aboard. And we have also Cal Water with us. Captain Leo, welcome aboard. Yusuf, welcome aboard, my friend. Guillaume Fontes, welcome aboard, Captain. Glad to have you here with us. And I think we missed doing that stream. We decided to do it together with the shared cockpit and the hot start. I think I need to get back to you on that, Captain. Starwing 750, good evening to you. Gold, welcome aboard. X-Plane Aviator, welcome, Niels. And we have also Adult 320, welcome aboard. Excited very much to get your thoughts on this new aircraft. Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. So today I welcome you aboard this Q8 Aviation Flight 001 service from Edinburgh to London Heathrow. This is the first look review of this aircraft. I have to tell you that the developer has provided me with a copy to showcase the aircraft on the channel, but of course, as you all know, my agreement with the developer is that I will showcase the aircraft and experience it and report to you guys exactly what I what I think of it. But as a disclaimer, I have to let you guys know that the developer did reach out to me and provided me with a copy of the aircraft. So I have done several test flights of this aircraft. We're going to experience it as we go, and I am my very first impression right off the bat, I'll tell you that I am quite impressed with the depth of system simulation, especially when it comes to the auto throttle, the LNAV, the VNAV, all that good stuff. We have a lot of experience that we've built flying the X-craft, and today we're flying this Embraer by FPS. So we do have another Embraer aircraft, another E-190 Embraer to compare this to, both in terms of the visuals, in terms of the sounds, and in terms of the system simulation. So and I have a surprise for you guys today during the stream. We'll see if it works. I hope it does, but we'll see what happens as we go. So the first thing, we're going to be examining the textures of this aircraft. And as you guys can see, in terms of the 3D modeling, this aircraft looks very authentic. It does very much look like the Embraer E-190. The details are done to an acceptable standard in my view. The livery was courtesy of Flight Procedure Simulations. They have made this livery for me here to showcase the aircraft. But let me zoom in here a little bit so you guys can get a little bit more appreciation for the details there. As you can see here, I think this is the landing gear. Again, very nice details there on the landing gear bay. The texturing here is not probably the highest resolution, but doesn't really take away much. It does look very good from a distance. Again, you see the vent flap, again, the nice text here, and the decals on the aircraft, again, to give it a realistic look. The engines are very nicely modeled, I have to say. They look fantastic. Very, very nice. And you can also see the details there. You can see that the brake, this is a little bit darker. I think, though, we shouldn't get the same here, but maybe this is like dirt. But normally you get this on the rear landing gear because there are no brake pads on the front. It's just really on the back. But overall, very nice details there. Again, if we look here, the texture work is done quite nicely with some very fine details there, as you can see. So in terms of the texturing, I think the exterior modeling is done quite well. Then we can see the back of the aircraft here. Again, some nice work there. I would have to say that when I compare this to the X-Craft model in terms of the texturing, I think that the X-Craft model is a notch higher than this in terms of the quality of the textures. But this, I mean, I can't really fault it much other than maybe the resolution and maybe some of the details that you find on the X-Craft model that you don't find here. I do love the engines, though. I think the engines are very well done. And overall, the aircraft is very authentic in terms of how it looks. It's very much resemblant of the real-world Embraer E-190. Okay, there are a few differences. A lot of people have been asking, what is the difference between the E-190 and E-195? Obviously, the E-195 is longer. It travels for a longer range and probably is capable of higher altitudes. I'm not exactly sure about the service ceiling, but the performance speeds are very different. So when you come into land, the performance calculation differs between the two variants of the Embraer. Overall, from the exterior modeling perspective, I think FPS has done a reasonably good job with the 3D modeling. It looks very nice in my view. And yeah, I really cannot fault it. Here's their new logo, Flight Procedure Simulation. Other than the fact that the texturing the resolution can be improved, and maybe a little more details on the aircraft exterior will bring more realism to the 3D model. All right, hopping into the interior of the cockpit. Again, the interior is I think done to an acceptable standard in my view. It is again, if I compare this to the X-Craft model, I find the X-Craft model to be slightly better than this in terms of the texture work. Though I have to say that they have done this to an acceptable standard for an aircraft of this price. I think it doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks very good. The texturing is very sharp, and things look, pretty nice. Minus the shimmering of X-Plane and the aliasing of X-Plane, it actually looks very good. So I think even if you zoom in here, I think everything is looking, pretty good. Again, not the highest fidelity possible, but I think very reasonable for an aircraft of this price tag, which cost, by the way, it's currently on discount for $55. So if we go here to the back, the passenger cabin is, again, reasonable, not high fidelity by any stretch of the imagination, but everything is in place. You've got your entertainment system. You've got the seats there. It looks like this is a one-class configuration of the Embraer. The cabin, you can see the details on the cabin. So the seats are labeled A and B and 3, and you've got your lights and air conditioning vents there as well for the passengers. So overall, in terms of the visual elements, I think FPS has done a reasonable job to recreate a faithful rendition of the aircraft of the Embraer E-190. Now, here's the thing, guys. We are at 38 likes. If we get to 100 likes in the next 5 minutes, we are running a giveaway today during this stream. Could be better. Yeah, I agree, Captain Guillaume, with you that for $55, the texturing can use a little bit of work. That is definitely something I agree with. It is reasonable. It's not bad. So not something that would deter me from buying the aircraft and at this level. But I would definitely consider the counterpart, which is X-Craft, has beautiful visual modeling. This one is not bad, but could definitely use work. All right, Let's move on to the features. Now, the electronic flight bag is sort of kind of looks like the one that we see on the, I believe, the 747. Very rudimentary in what it offers. So you have the states here, the cold and dark, powered at the gate, unpowered and parked. And then you've got your GPU, the chocks, cabin lights. You can also set the pushback here. And you've got your payload sheet, your fuel, the performance or takeoff data, and then you've got your volume settings here. I always wonder why, why developers include the sounds when they're not custom. I mean, this just controls the X-Plane sounds. I mean, from a usability perspective, it's nice to have it, but I always manipulate things from the X-Plane menu. Of course, a few things here. Pause at 10 nautical miles from top of descent. You can switch from imperial to metric units, hide pilots, hide first officer, hide the yoke for the captain, all that good stuff. So I think overall a very basic EFB, but very essential in terms of the features. And this is something that should be standard now with any aircraft, any add-on. To configure your fuel weight and balance, this should come as standard. So, it's okay in terms of the implementation and the features. I think they have the minimum features that I would expect to see in an electronic flight bag for an aircraft at this price point. Looking at this, we are going to turn on the batteries, and then we're going to come and worry about the, let me just click here, see what are, all right, we're looking good there. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on battery 1 and battery 2. Battery 1, battery 2. The sounds are pretty modest, I think, just going over all the sounds in the aircraft. You can see the aircraft systems are coming to life. And we're going to come up here. Now you can hear the warning there. Cancel the master caution. And we can see the flashing there, the warning signs as the aircraft systems are coming up. All right, we're going to come here and we're going to turn on the GPU. And now we have established electrical power to the aircraft. Okay, and we have all the aircraft systems now online. Okay. The displays, the first thing you'll notice is that you are unable to pop the instruments, which is kind of a shame because this is something that comes in very handy for flight simmers. So with this aircraft, you're going to have to set up your views for sure and zoom in and out to read the instruments. Again, this is not something that takes away from the aircraft, but from a usability perspective, I expect these things to be there by default. Popping out the FMS devices, the PFDs, the MFDs is sort of very essential and very useful for flight simmers. Nonetheless, no worries. FPS devs, please change the chocks icon. It's too close to the on-off logo. Yeah, that's true. Flying Scotsman, good evening to you, my friend. Welcome aboard. How does this compare to the X-Crafts? We'll talk about that as we go. Yeah, if we get to 100 likes, definitely we're doing a giveaway on stream today. And I'll give you the details once we reach the 100 likes. So there we go. On this red flag here, yeah, unpoppable instruments. Yeah, that's something that they definitely need to have there. So that is not something that is currently available. Okay, so let's come over here and let's set things up. Let me show you the flight plan real quick. We are going to be flying from Edinburgh to London Heathrow. We are Q8 Aviation Flight 001. We're going to be cruising at a final cruise altitude of 25,000 feet. Short hop today.
Super chatted $5. Hello Q8 Poland from Logan, New Jersey. Congratulations on 100K followers.
Well, hello, Boeing Corp Mike, and thank you very much, sir, for your $5 super chat there and for your congratulations. I appreciate that, my friend. Welcome and best regards to all my friends in Logan, New Jersey, in the US of A. Welcome, Boeing Corp. All right, so we are going to come here and we're going to come to the load sheet. Let's take a quick look at our SimBrief flight plan. As you can see here, 25,000 feet. Alternate airport is London Stansted. And we have, in terms of payload, if we scroll down here, we have 11.7 kilos. So let's go ahead and add 11.7. 11.4 is the max. So let me clear that. You know what? We'll just leave it there. We'll say just stop. Let's put 8,000. All right. So we'll just say 8,000. Load and unload. And let's go to the fuel. And for the fuel, we're going to need about 5.5 is the max. We have 4. We're going to put about 4.2. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4.2 and fuel. Okay, so now we're fueling the aircraft. And there we go. We have about 4,200 kilograms of fuel. If you come here now, you'll have all the data. We're going to select flaps 1 for the departure today, which gives us a center of gravity 16.1 and a trim of 2.1 up. Temperature is 14 Celsius, and now we are ready to start programming the FMS. But first, let's go ahead and start the APU. Again, the sounds are, not all that great. Emergency lights are armed, and electrical pump is on. All right. If we look here on the outside, again, no distinct sounds for the APU as of yet. Yeah, I can't really hear any sounds for the APU, but we can see the heat blur coming from the exhaust there, indicating the APU is starting. Right. Again, nice animations and some details, some nice details there. You can see the GPU cover is open with the GPU connected, and the chocks are placed as well. All right, back in the cockpit, we are now ready to program the FMS. Let's come quickly down here, and we're going to test the DVDR test. Checks OK. We've already started the APU, so we'll just do the cargo smoke fire test. And it looks like everything is OK. Perfect. Everything here is good. Lights are good. Red beacon, we don't need any of the lights, everything here. Again, very, very automated aircraft. So let's head over to the FMC and let's go to let's go to route. And now we have the nav identification. We have the latest ARAC database, and we're going to go to position in it. We're going to load the last position here, load it. Then we're going to go to the route. We are currently at Echo Golf Papa Hotel or Edinburgh Airport. We are heading to London Heathrow today. And the alternate airport is London Stansted, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. And we enter that here. The flight ID today, we are Q8 Aviation 001. And that is our flight ID. There we go. We definitely do. Mike Coffee, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Making breakfast and enjoying another awesome stream by Q8. Well, thank you very much, Mike Coffee. Appreciate it, my friend. All right. So we are good to activate the flight plan. And next, we're going to go to the departure. Now, for the departure, excuse me. For the departure, we're going to go to the runway. We're going to bring up SimBrief flight plan once more. And we're going to scroll back up here for our flight plan. All right, so we are departing runway 06 through the GOSA 1 Delta departure through the GOSAM transition. Excellent. And we're going to apply that. And next we are taking airway 600, Papa 600. So Papa 600. And we're going to exit at Phoenix. All right, so that's Phoenix right there. And then we are taking Lima 612 to Lakey or Lackey. No, sorry, to Elbus. That's to Elbus. All right, so that's Elbus. Okay, and that's Elbus. And from Elbus, we're going to take Uniform Lima 612. Uniform Lima 612. And we're going to exit at Lakey. All right, Lakey. There we go. Brilliant. And then from Lakey, direct to Nogra. There we go. NUGRA. Excellent. And then it would be our arrival information. So we're going to activate here. And next we go to perf int or perf initialization. Okay. So from here, we're going to take a look at the tail number. We're going to verify this is PPFPS, which is okay. The takeoff and landing weight is okay. Alternate fuel, everything here is good. We're going to go to the takeoff data set. Beg your pardon. Let's go back to performance and let's go to the next page. All right. So the next page, we're going to put our cruise altitude of 25,000 feet. There we go. And the cruise winds are 021052, 021052. And by the way, when you enter this information, you need to put it with the zeros, with the leading zeros, otherwise it won't work. So it's expecting 3 digits and 3 digits. When I set up my FP, often ATC send me to a different runway, which is annoying. You don't use ATC. That's fine. When you file your flight plan, you normally get the runway. If you're flying on VATSIM or IVAO, you'll be able to, from ATIS, you'll know which runway to take. So if you are flying online, you always have to listen to ATIS, and it will tell you which one is the active runway. Okay, so from the CG, we can grab that from the electronic flight bag, which is right here. So the CG is 16.1. 16.1. Oops, what did I do? All right, so we need to put first our cruise winds and then 16.1. All right, that's CG. Excellent. The ESA deviation is -3. So -3, and we insert that here. Excellent. We don't need the step increment, so we'll just leave that at 0. And from the next page, we have the performance data. Now, the climb speed, this is a bit... I think this is climb speed. Let's see. We're going to change this to, let's say, 270. Sorry. Where am I? All right. So 270. Actually, let's do the following. Let's clear that and put 270. Doesn't like that either. All right. All right. I'm going to put 270 for a cruise. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. Okay. So climb so descent is fine. 270 for the cruise speed, and the climb speed maybe we'll take it to 270 as well. Will that work? No, it doesn't like that. Okay, well, that's fine. Data set here to takeoff data. We're not going to derate. We'll leave everything as it is. We'll go to takeoff. Next page, flaps 1 for departure. Flaps 1 selected. And then next, now we have for the V speeds, we can simply copy everything from the tablet. So I'm just going to click here and it copies everything from the tablet. And notice we have also the trim is set up correctly at 2.1 up. And the takeoff pitch is The takeoff pitch is 2.1 up. So we are pretty much ready. The only thing we need to do is enter the descent information, and with that we'll be fine and ready to go. So normally you can do this after takeoff, but we're just going to go ahead and add it now. I only use X-Plane 12 ATC, and it often changes. I normally don't use X-Plane ATC rate, but if you're looking for dynamic ATC that is really worth it, maybe a little bit expensive, but really works well, I highly recommend that you look into Say Intentions, but it's only for MSFS at this point. All right, let's go to descent. We're going to leave everything here as it is. Obviously, we need the 3 degrees slope for the descent. And then for the arrival, we are arriving today at through the Nogra 1 Hotel, ILS runway 27 left at London Heathrow. So let's go next. And next, that's the Nogra 1 Hotel and the Nogra transition. And then it is going to be the ILS runway 27 left, which is this one here. And if we look at our charts for 27 left, so let's go to the app, and we're going to go to 27 left and take a look here. And the transition is the BNN transition right there. We have the BNN right there. So Bravo November November, which is this one here. So we are going to select that one, and we're going to say apply. Perfecto. Okay, so we have all the information now ready. If we go back to the flight plan, we can see here everything's looking good. But if you look at the profile, so let me just make this. So that's the vertical profile. We have some problems here. So if we look here at combo, there is a restriction here, but this restriction is not respected here for some reason. I'm not sure if this is a problem with the actual flight plan. Obviously, this is the flight plan data. So if you look here, we have above 5,000. We have 6,000. Then for some reason, we have 12,400. This is explained why we have a difference at combo. And then we have 6,000 again at GOSM. Now, this is actually a restriction at 6,000. You can see here, you have the line above and below, which indicates that you have to be at exactly 6,000 feet. So what we're going to go and do is we're going to change the altitude at combo to 6,000 to match GOSM. So to do this, we're going to simply click here and say 6,000, and we're going to just insert that here at combo. And now if we select activate, okay, and we're going to go to the flight plan. And now if you look here, now we have the restriction respected throughout until GOSM, and from GOSM, we will continue our climb to 25,000 feet. Okay. So everything here is now set. We can set the auto brake to rejected takeoff, and we are actually ready to disconnect the shocks and the GPU, and we are ready to go. We can see our V1, V-rotate, and V2 speeds are already there, and everything is set. Perfect. We need one more thing. We need to check the weather here. The departure out of Edinburgh, 353 knot wind, and we have variable winds. So it's fine. And the altimeter is 1025. Okay. So we don't need standard. We need 1025. Let's change that to HPA, hectopascal. And we're going to change this to 1021, I believe. 1021. Was it 1021? 125. Okay. All right. 1025 is set. Perfect. Dougal McTavish. Howdy, my friend. Welcome aboard. You use hectopascal in the United Kingdom. You use millibars in the United States and Canada, Carl. All right. So all is good here. We're going to go ahead and set our altitude to 25,000 feet. And you'll see here the profile line, the dashed line here moving up to indicate 25,000. So 25,000 feet is now set. All right. So everything here is set. The speed, we can dial it down to, actually, let's leave it at 200. 200 is fine. And by the way, FPS has implemented the FMS versus manual speed. So here, this switch here actually is operational, and you can toggle between manual speed and FMS speed aboard the FPS, which is very, very nice to have, and essential if you want to represent, you know, an accurate simulation of the Embraer, because that's exactly how it works in real life. It's got an FMS and manual speed. Very, very automated aircraft. Probably one of the most automated I've seen to date, at least in flight sim. All right, we have everything ready to go. We can now come down up here to the control panel, and we can turn on our red beacon light and fasten seatbelt, non-smoking, and we are pretty much ready to start our engines. All right, let's take a quick look here at the outside. Just make sure there are no ground equipment. We can verify also that the chocks have been removed. And let's take a quick look at our Navigraph charts. So if we go to Edinburgh and take a quick look at where we are departing runway 6. So we are going to push with nose to the right out of our position. We are then going to take taxiway Alpha all the way here to Alpha 1, hold short, and then depart Edinburgh runway 06 as indicated here on the chart. Brilliant. What do you guys think of this livery? Pretty simple, but I do like it. Yeah, it's the Q8 pilot livery after all, so pretty cool. Again, you can see the strobe lights and with proper pulse there of the red beacon light right there. Pretty cool. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and call the pushback truck. Better pushback, start the pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right, we're going to push nose to the right. There we go. Hopefully we don't get any issues with it.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And the tow is driving up. Evan Blakeman, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Yeah, inches of mercury or hectopascal. Normally in Europe, they use hectopascal, and in the United States and Canada, and I believe in Southern America, they use inches of mercury. Hi, George. How are you doing, my friend? Don't forget, folks, if we reach 100 likes today, we are going to perform another giveaway.
Set parking brake.
Profile views. So I have set up a few views. Let me show you real quick. So, no, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So I have a few views, some wing views here. Another one here, right there, right here. And this one is my favorite, looking over the beautiful engines there of the aircraft. All right, there we go. Let's take a quick look here at the tug. He is connecting. We'll just wait for him. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. I think he's waiting for me to release the parking brake. There we go. And the tow truck is now connecting to the aircraft.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Okay. Again, the sounds are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. They're acceptable. In terms of the simulation, we don't have the TCAS page or the weather page here. From the map, you have all the navigational aids. You can show the weather terrain here. doesn't look very good, but I'll just turn this off. But you can definitely show all of this information. Your plan, again, same thing, and the system. You've got your hydraulics, flight controls, fuel, electrical, ECS, and NTIs. All the pages here are modeled. Or leave this on the flight plan for the time being. And we have clearance. We are pushing out of our position, so let's go ahead and start with the engine number 2. Run and start. Okay. All right, we can see the engine spooling up here. It's doing strange things, better pushback, but thankfully it is pushing back the plane. Reggae 120, welcome aboard, my friend. All right, let me see why we are not hearing so much of the engine sounds. Ah, that's why. All right, let's increase the sounds there. All right, there we go. That's better. That was a very violent turn by the driver there. Ooh, he's having a field day today. He's enjoying himself. All right. We can just come here and better pushback. Stop the pushback. There we go. Engine sounds are...
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
All right, parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, let's go ahead and start engine number 1. I'm not too crazy about the sounds, to be completely honest with you guys. They're okay, but they're not great. So I'm going to remove some of these things. Waypoint, progress we want, vertical profile we want, nav IDs. Let's remove those. We'll just leave the airports. Yeah, that's a cleaner display there. Okay, there we go. And it looks like we have a good start on both engines, and we are ready to go. I love the British Better Pushback voice. What exactly is the difference between the FPS E-190? So the main difference is in the actual size of the aircraft, the performance data, all of that differs in the FPS 190. The range, obviously, differs. All the performance calculations are different, but essentially they are pretty much the same plane. Just like, you know, if you'd ask what is the difference between the 737-800 and 700, and the difference is very subtle, at least for us flight simmers. The differences are not all that great. All right, 100 over 100 likes. Okay. So, since we have reached the 100 likes, what we're going to be doing today is another giveaway, but today we're going to let one of the mods select a winner randomly in chat. I will tell the moderators what to do later, and I'm going to give another $50 US in gift certificate to one of you lucky winners on the stream this evening. How about that? This looks like the old X-Craft model. Yes, Harry, I agree with you. From the modeling perspective, the X-Craft model looks a lot better. But so far, you know, we've started everything in accordance with the X-Craft procedures, more or less. And let's come put this here on the progress page. Now, what matters to me the most is to show you the systems and how the aircraft systems work. And so one of the things we miss in the X-Craft model is the fact that the FMS speed is inop, so it doesn't work. It hasn't been yet developed there. Another thing that's very important is the auto-tune of the ILS. So the Embraer auto-tunes the ILS frequency when you're about 20 nautical miles from the airport. And both of these features are modeled on this aircraft. So, which one gives you a more authentic Embraer experience? We're going to find out today in this live stream. Okay, so everything here is set. Flight directors are on. And we're going to set flaps 1 for departure. Flaps 1 is set. And okay, let's turn on our taxi lights. Nose lights, side lights, and there we go. All the well, we don't need the logo lights, but all the taxi lights are now on. This guy is obviously waiting for us to move out of his way, so we're going to give him that, and we're going to release the parking brake, and off we go to runway 06 for departure. Okay, let's give it a little power here. We're just going to move out of his way and let him do his thing. You have got to love ORBX True Earth. All right, he'll be on his way now. And we might have an accident here of the wings. Oof. All right, we'll go back to the taxiway now. All right. Perfect. Right, so we are all ready to go, and I'm really liking ORBX True Earth. I really hope that they expedite the development and delivery of both the central and southern part of the United Kingdom. Right, here we go. Here's our turn. And we're going to taxi to runway 06 via Alpha. Okay, that's Alpha 12. Here we go. Excellent. I really like the exterior modeling of the aircraft. I think it's pretty well done. Yeah, the interior needs work in my view. So I expect better texturing from the interior, and I expect better sounds, obviously. So they are F-mod sounds. So the aircraft does have F-mod sounds, but I think I would expect something a little higher quality. Maybe they should get Daniela to work on the sounds. She does the most amazing sound packs ever for X-Plane. She works directly with Laminar Research, and she also works with the guy over at Aerobask. And my God, she creates just the best sound F-mod sounds ever. Very, very talented. All right, here we go. All's looking good. Let's slow down a little bit. Nice wing flex, as you can see here. So the wing flex is modeled. Very nice wings on the Embraer. All right, let me do this here. Okay, that's runway 06. Need just a simple update, just like you said. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Do you have the rain effect on the cabin window? Do you know, or can you try the end of the stream? The wind effect does work, so you'll get the rain effect on the windshield for sure. All right, here we go. And we can now turn on our landing lights. There we go. Strobe lights are on. We can turn off the taxi lights. All the rest of the lights are on. And we are ready to go. All right. So now for the takeoff, we are going to select nav. We're going to select the auto throttle. Now we can see the auto throttle here. And the only thing we need now is to hit the toga button and we're good to go. All right. All right, we are cleared for takeoff, runway 06. Flaps are set. We are good to go. All right, let's line up. All right, there we go. Okay, engine sounds are not bad. Right, there we go. And toga. All right, there we go. Takeoff and auto throttle. And we should get the hold. There we go. Hold.
80 knots.
80 knots, check. The FMA is showing exactly what we expect it to
V1.
show. V1.
VR.
Rotate.
V2.
And we are airborne. Positive rate of climb. Gear is going up. All right, we are more than 400 feet. Autopilot is engaged. Excellent. We can see exactly what we expect. Everything looking good. We're going to go ahead and retract the flaps. We can see a restriction here at 5,000. So alt select is engaged. LNAV is armed. And we are currently at 200 feet. Right, we're going to continue the climb here. We're going to leave this at 200 feet. And just a little, I think we can go to 250. So let's go to 250. Actually, 240 is fine. 240 feet. 240 knots, beg your pardon. And so far, ladies and gents, this Embraer is doing exactly what we expected to do. In terms of the operation and the aircraft systems. TCAS is off. Yeah, you're right. So we can go here to the radio and TARA. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now it's actually doing exactly what it should do. Personally, I like the Citation class being you of Flying Sims. Citation is very nice. Yes. So far, everything is working exactly as it should. And you'll notice that the drawing of the flight route needs improvement. So you can see that the curvature here is not right. Now, I'm not sure if the real aircraft displays the route this way or not. But this looks off to me. All right, so transition altitude is set. Baro set to standard. Yeah, look at those clouds. All right, 8,000. We're looking good. And now we are going to monitor the the aircraft systems. And we have Chris Bremer. Just welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Thank you very much for your support, sir. I appreciate it very much. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much, Chris Bremer. Welcome. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to switch to FMS speed. And now the aircraft should follow the FMS speed like you've seen here. And we are above 10,000. You can see now it takes a little bit of time, but eventually it should, the speeds should start going up. We have it set at 240. Or actually, that's the FMS speed, is 240. Now, one thing, I don't think that we've stopped at okay, let me do one thing here. I'm not sure why the speed is going down. So let me go back to manual speed. And I am going to go to 250. Doesn't seem to be doing that. Speed is very low. Very strange. Looks like this is something that needs work. We could use flight change, yeah. There we go. That's flight change. And it should have been done automatically. But yeah, let's go now to FMS speed. 249. And that should... Thanks for that. You're in the wrong vertical mode. Yeah, it should have been picked up, though. I just discovered your videos. I'm living... and I'm living... Oh, thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate it. Allah Aruk, welcome aboard, my friend. What is the best Embraer in MSFS? There isn't one, unfortunately, a lot at this point. All right, so one of the things I noticed is this here. You see this flight change, and I'm not sure what the other thing, but it keeps flickering. That's, I think, an issue that needs fixing. But so far, this aircraft is behaving exactly as it should. That was my bad. I think our climb mode wasn't correct. And that's why we weren't climbing, and the autopilot was not going to the speed. So once we did flight change, you can see that everything is back to normal. And we are climbing to our cruise altitude now of 25,000 feet. Here's a quick look at the outside. Okay, we left our landing lights, so let's kill the landing lights, and we can release the passengers as well. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. What do you think so far? Well, so far, I will have to say that if I overlook the textures, they're not that bad, but I expect a little better. If I look past the sounds, so far in terms of the system simulation, the operation of the autopilot, this aircraft is more accurate than the X-Craft model. Now, the X-Craft model is without a doubt a lot better to look at, so it's more pleasing to the eye. The sounds on the X-Craft model is much better. But so far, this aircraft, the FMS speed, whatever it's doing it right. I think they've resolved the issues that the aircraft had experienced with the E-190 in terms of the autopilot. So I think now it's doing what it's supposed to do, minus this flickering here, this one here. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's saying pitch and flight change. They're like one over the other. I think once we reach cruise, it will go away. So we can increase the range here a little bit. Now, another test we are going to put this aircraft through is the operation of VNAV. So that's another thing we want to take a look at today. and also how the aircraft is going to behave as we approach the airport. Now, according to the developer, he said, in real life, when the aircraft is approximately 12 nautical miles from the airport, you select flaps 1, and that will automatically reduce the aircraft speed. So we are going to follow the aircraft speed. As you can see here, we are at 255, cruise at 270, so we're good. We'll just leave it there. And everything's looking good. Beautiful day here in the United Kingdom. Not very cloudy, but some clouds there to beautify the atmosphere for us. Hello there, Care Fergun. Welcome aboard. Your lovely kind of looks like the Royal Air Maroc livery. Yeah, it does. Hello, Grant. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. Hello, John. Lou's Parts. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. It's been a long time. Hello, Max. Hey, Q8. Just joined the stream. Is this aircraft worth buying? I will give you my final remarks after we land, because I still want to test the VNAV functionality and the automatic ILS capture frequency in the radios. Excuse me. So, yeah, I think now we can see flight change properly displaying here, and I believe this is the top of climb, TC, is displayed here. So we have everything here. And if we go to the progress page, right here, again, we can see everything is looking exactly as it should. This is the waypoints, and we have the progress. If we go to the next page, let's hit them right here. Where is it? Next. All right, so here is next, and this is, as you can see, TOC and TOD. So both are calculated for us. Again, a very automated aircraft. So we want to test these things today. The VNAV, LNAV, what does the aircraft do? How does it do it? So far, in terms of the simulation, I think it's spot on. What do you guys think? Flight change and path were flickering. Path is VNAV descent. Flight change for climb. Gotcha, Leonardo. I did notify the developer that there was one issue so far that I've experienced, is that the aircraft does not respect the restrictions. So our departure from Edinburgh, the beginning part of the departure in Edinburgh has a restriction of 6,000 feet. But the aircraft didn't seem to respect that restriction and just kept climbing. That's the only thing that I have seen thus far that did not work according to the books. Other than that, it works pretty much like it should in real life. It definitely flies very nice, so you feel the nose as you lift the aircraft off the ground. You feel the heaviness of the aircraft. So, yeah. We have, hello, Kafka 888, welcome. Will I catch y'all later? Have to go to the store? Well, GT, have fun, my friend. All the best to you. The cabin looks the same as the free version. Yes, the cabin is not all that great. I fly E-170, 175 in real life, so if you have questions, I'll try my best. Oh, Leonardo, thank you very much. Well, Leonardo, then we have a real-world pilot here with us. What do you think of what you have seen so far? How is this aircraft, how well does this aircraft, the FPS E-190, represent the real aircraft, in your expert opinion as a real-world pilot? Flying obviously a different variant of the aircraft. Here's an X-Craft E-190 flyer to see what's the difference. Well, one of the differences, again, as I've highlighted, is the fact that we have FMS speed modeled. So you can select manual and FMS speeds. The operation so far is flawless in terms of the autopilot and how it operates. You nailed it with regards to the FMS. Well, thank you very much. Systems, yeah, that's what I'd like to know from you, Leonardo. The system-wise, what do you think? FMS speeds, direct to VNAV direct holds are all implemented, which was nice to see. Oh, great! That's again testament from a real-world Embraer pilot. All right, so guys, I am going to try something today. According to the documentation available in Nightbot, the moderators are able to run a command to select a random winner in chat. So I am going to give the moderators the leisure of one of you guys. You guys decide on Discord who wants to do it. But what the moderators can do is they can type in chat !winner, and a random winner will be selected from chat. So, guys, decide who wants to run the command, and when do you want to run the command, and at your leisure, run the command !winner, and we are going to select a winner for the stream today, and it's going to be $50 US gift certificate redeemable at either the X-Plane Org store or at the Sim Market store. So I'm just going to head over to, let me see here. So you guys can decide who wants to do it. I don't have any preference. Any one of you guys can do it. So you guys just decide in the management group on the channel, and at your discretion, you can run the command. All right. All right, got you there, Stan. Can't stay for a stream. No worries, Dougal. All right, so Carl, it looks like you have a vote to run the iWinner command in chat. So at your leisure, whenever you like, whenever you think is the best time, please go ahead and do it. Thank you, Stan, for the vote. Okay, so back to our flight here. It looks like we have one disco, so let's go to the next page. I thought we did the all right, so there we go. Next page. Huh? We have another one here. How strange. All right, there we go. Activate. There we go.
MT Aviation super chatted $1.10.
Well, MT Aviation, thank you very much for your super chat there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, sir. So what makes this stand out from the X-Craft? So far, these systems. But I can only confirm that once we see the operation of VNAV. Then and only then we'll be able to say yes, it is the systems are better or worse. I want to buy the SCG-748 as it's not bad, but it's not great. Okay, so just be aware of that when you spend that money on the SSG-748. You might be disappointed. I'll just put it there. It's not an aircraft that I do not recommend. I'm kind of neutral on the SSG-747. It's the only 748. If you're expecting something of like PMDG quality, then you will definitely be disappointed. But if you like the 748, the flight model of it is excellent. It's very good. The exterior modeling is very nice. Interior, you know, it's all right. A320 if you are referring to Tolis. Okay, I'm not sure if Carl is still with us on stream. Okay, so if we look down here now, and we go to flight plan. All right, if we go to the plan. All right, let's go to plan. All right. Okay. All right, let's... All right, so that's top of descent. And we come down here. All right, so that's a nice turn into... That's the final fix into the runway. Okay, so it's going to be a nice turn to the airport. So we should be able to clear it without incident. Let's switch this back to map. So a couple of things we want to see now. We want to see how VNAV works. So VNAV path and the descent to our platform altitude. The other thing we want to check out or be on the lookout for is the auto tune of the ILS frequency. Now, if you look here, it looks like we already have auto tune here. So it says auto. The FMS is on auto. So I assume that the ILS frequency will be automatically captured like it should. So there we go. 742 is the one to get. Very complex. Correct, Grant. The 742 is very complex, but the most complex is the Hot Start Challenger 650. The simulation of the aircraft is just incredible. So it's the most accurate, I think, rendition of an aircraft in a sim in all respects. But yes, the 742-200 is very complex. And normally, just remember, when you're flying the 742 Classic by Felis, you are actually performing the jobs of 3 individuals, the pilot, the co-pilot, and the flight engineer. And all 3 have different things to do and different tasks to accomplish while flying the aircraft. Very, very complex and quite in-depth aircraft. Very enjoyable to fly. And by the way, speaking of complex aircraft, the Kalamata Concorde is actually very complex as well. One of the best renditions, I think, if not the best rendition of a Concorde in a flight sim. I personally like it more than the FS Labs Concorde. Have the Challenger is very good. Yeah, it is excellent. Absolutely. What's the difference between the E-190 and E-195? No difference in terms of the systems, just the range, the service ceiling, and performance is pretty much the difference. IXCG 737, great. There are a lot of great aircraft for X-Plane, without a doubt. Okay, so if we look here and we select, we're going to go to the next page, TOD in 137. All right, if I switch this to plan and go down here to the flight plan and go to, it's just so annoying that there's no pop-up of the displays. All right, so step. So we are here at TD, right before Topio. Okay, Tobit, to 220,000. 15,000. All right, so I think we're good there. Okay, so I think the top of descent calculation is done properly. So we'll just leave it there. Increase the range a little bit. There we go. There we go. Here's a nice wing view for you guys as we fly across the UK. Unfortunately, there are a thick layer of clouds, so we're unable to see the beautiful ORBX True Earth North. And by the time I think we descend, it's you know, we're gonna be in the southern part or the central part of the UK, so it's back to the default. But London Heathrow today is that of Time Models, which is an excellent rendition of London Heathrow. Stan, I think, I think you can go ahead and do it whenever you're happy to do it, Stan. If you want to try it right now, go ahead. If it doesn't work, by the way, I will do it on Nightbot myself. But Stan, why don't you go ahead and give it? There we go. And the winner is... Hey, Nightbot just selected MT Aviation as a winner here on the Kuwait Pilot channel. How cool is that? A new way of selecting winners for giveaways on the Kuwait Pilot channel. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The winner is MT Aviation. Thank you very much, Stan, for selecting a winner for us. And MT Aviation, all you need to do, my friend, is send an email to info@q8pilot.com. Please make sure that you include a screenshot of your YouTube profile page, your account page, while you're logged in, just so that I can verify your profile. And just please let me know in the email where do you want to spend your $50 voucher. You have two options: the Explain Org store or the Sim Market store. Congratulations again to you. And I really like this way of running the giveaways. I think what we'll do moving forward is I'll let the mods select the winners. How cool is that? That way I can focus on the stream and chat with you guys, and the mods will select the winners. Yeah, cool. I like it. Congratulations, MT Aviation. Yeah, I like it too, Stan. I got your message. I really like it. It's pretty cool. All right. So, let's hop back into the cockpit and take a look at... all right, so not yet at top of descent. So let me just... I want to add... All right. So here you can see that the another thing that is done properly in this aircraft is the profile. The climb and descent profile, as you can see here, is done pretty well. We saw the climb up to 25,000 feet, and now we can see that this is TOD, and we can see all the restrictions as well here. Okay, cool. So that is check, again, in terms of the system simulation. So now you can buy the 748. Embraer E-190 looks so good. Yeah, they do. I'm an X-Craft user, but especially on sale now, the FPS appear to offer good value. So far, so good, Niels. Yes, I would say that. I mean, overall, for an aircraft at $55, with this level of simulation, I think it's pretty good value for money. I would wait, though, until we are done with the VNAV. Once we know how the VNAV works, and we have a pretty good idea how it should work. And I really want to thank, Marco, the developer of X-Craft, or the director of X-Craft, because he taught me a lot about the Embraer when the aircraft was in beta. So I was one of the beta testers for them. And the reason why Marco actually wanted to, collaborate with me was that he wanted the flight simmer perspective. He was very focused on, he was working with real-world pilots to program the aircraft in accordance with real-world procedures. But then he said, all I've been listening to is, real-world pilots. I want now a flight simmer perspective. can you tell me what you think? And there was like a big laundry list of things that I've sent over to Marco, and a lot of it he's actually put in, put into the aircraft. So, so I learned during the course of, doing the beta testing, I learned a lot from Marco about the Embraer. And in one of the streams where he was live, there was a pilot who is a lineage pilot, like the Embraer lineage, and oh, Matt Aviation.
Aviation super chatted $2.19. Many thanks. I'm very happy. Email. Smiley face.
Well, I'm glad that you're very happy, and I'm glad that I've made you happy. And we want to thank Stan for making you happy today. Those are the magic fingers from Stan that selected you. So congratulations again, my friend, and thank you for the what's that, Swiss franc? 2 Swiss francs, the chat, the super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. So on one of the streams, there was a lineage pilot who spoke to Marco, and on the stream, they agreed that they would connect afterwards. And it turns out that Marco was given the chance to go on a real-world Embraer lineage where he was actually able to take pictures. And that's how the development of the lineage is coming along. So he was pretty happy about it. He said it paid off to be on stream with UQ8. So I was pretty happy about that. The time New Yorker shared here was valuable to us all. Oh, I'm very glad that this was a valuable experience for you guys. I try as much as possible to bring developers here because I think it's very important that you hear their perspective. So I give you one perspective, which is mine. But there are a lot of things, a lot of hardships, a lot of difficulties and challenges that developers go through in order to develop these add-ons. And for them, I think, especially for those of them who make a living out of creating add-ons, it's very essential for their voice to be heard. And for this very reason, by the way, that I'd like to bring developers and interview them. And I ask them sometimes some really tough questions. And by the way, I tell them before the stream so there is like a backstage chat between me and the developers normally before the stream. And I tell them, look, guys, I ask very direct questions. I'm a very direct guy, and I will ask you direct questions. But if at any point you feel uncomfortable answering the question, please just be honest and say, I'm not comfortable answering the question. And that's okay. And people will respect that. But I just, sometimes I get so tempted to ask them really difficult questions. But it's, first of all, it's just my nature to be very direct in my communication. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's okay. But I think for you guys, it's very important. This direct approach is very important for the community for 2 reasons. One, if you are going to make an investment in an add-on, I think they owe it to, give you all the information that you want before you make the purchase. But what's more important is what's going to happen after you purchase the add-on. Or if, for example, you encounter an issue with the add-on, are you really going to get the support? Are you going to be helped? One of the developers who I consider to be top-notch developers for X-Plane unfortunately lack the support. At least that's what I hear from the community, which is Airfoil Labs. I hear a lot of complaints on their support, that they don't respond, it takes them forever. And the King Air by Airfoil Labs is still broken, by the way. After the last update, if you start the aircraft, it starts with throttles at max, engines running, and it just flies over. It's got issues. Oh, thank you very much, Reggae 120. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Although their 172 NG is the best, their 172 NG is the best, especially the analog, the one with the analog gauges. I absolutely adore that aircraft. Right, looks like TCAS works properly as well in the aircraft, as you can see here. And speaking of that, let's go to the weather. The weather doesn't seem to work. I do have terrain radar installed, but it doesn't seem like it connects with it. Well, it's probably not a very good day to test it either. And if we go to the terrain is there. Looks a bit funny, but I think if we zoom out, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, I think again, I don't like how the terrain radar is. It looks like pixelated there. I'm not sure if the real aircraft does it this way, but I seriously doubt it. But you know, it's there, so it is functional. I agree, Goal. Maybe we got lucky. Yeah, just maybe. There's a bug for the weather from X-Plane 12. I've had some issues with the weather lately with the X-Plane 12 weather, so I'm using Active Sky for our flight today. All right, let's take a look here. TOD in 44 nautical miles. Okay, so we're almost there now, folks. Okay, so what we're going to do is first we're going to come here and go to our charts, and we're going to select 27 left. And I love how Navigraph just travels that way. So cool, isn't it? Where we are here. All right, so 45 nautical miles. Yeah, just right about here, I think, is where we're going to begin the descent. Okay, so if we look here at our chart, the platform altitude is 2,500, and we're going to take a note of the ILS frequency, which is 109.5, and the final approach course is 269. Now, I'm not going to tune the ILS frequency in the radio, because it's supposed to be automatically picked up in the Embraer. So we'll just leave it and wait to see if it auto-tunes. Right, we have LNAV, and we'll engage VNAV just about 10 nautical miles from top of descent. The weather radar doesn't seem to work, no. I honestly, it's very difficult to say because the weather is quite nice right now. So we don't have any clouds in the vicinity. So it becomes very difficult to say whether it's working or not. But we can leave it on. Let's leave it on. Let's come here, and we're going to turn on the weather system, and we'll leave it, and we'll see if we get anything later on. We can see here the beginning of the top of descent. We can see the circle there as well for top of descent. And if we come down here, 33. All right, let's go ahead and reset the altitude to 2,500 feet. All right, that's 2,500 set. And we can actually engage VNAV if we want now. We'll give it another 10 nautical miles, and then we'll engage VNAV. Here is a cinematic flyby of the flight procedure simulation Embraer E-190 for X-Plane 12. Very nicely done in terms of the exterior 3D model, without a doubt. All right, we're back in a cloudy area here at as we approach London Heathrow. We have the top of descent there. We are approximately 24 nautical miles from the descent, from the top of descent. No, the weather here doesn't work, unfortunately. This is INOP. This button doesn't work, unfortunately. No, DB Better. This is the brand new FPS E-190. The fidelity might not be the highest, but it looks very well, very real life, good-looking aircraft. I agree, Stan. Yeah. So, if I were to categorize or evaluate the criteria on the texturing, exterior modeling, I would give it probably a 7.5 out of 10. The interior, I would give it a 7 out of 10. So overall, it gets like 7.25 out of 10 in terms of the texturing. Maybe this is a little bit generous, but again, you know, for the price of the aircraft, maybe this is a generous rating in terms of the texturing. But I think, you know, the developer has done a reasonable job. There are some areas where there is some fine details. So for that reason, I want to give it a slightly higher score than usual in terms of the texturing. In terms of the sounds, on the other hand, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 overall in terms of the system. In terms of the knobs, the switches, the engine sounds, the overall ambient sounds. And I've turned off everything from XP Realistic so that we get the sounds of the aircraft without interference from XP Realistic. And I left only the camera movements from XP Realistic for us to experience. All right, we are 7 nautical miles from top descent, so I'm going to hit VNAV. And now with VNAV, now that's one thing I noticed, that as soon as I hit VNAV, it does a flight change and start descending. And I'm not really sure why it does that. But I don't think that's accurate. Should wait until top of descent. But yeah. So we are 19 nautical miles. We are 25. We want to go to 25. Yeah, 25,000. Yeah, if you look here. So if you look down here. Oh, this is 2,500. Sorry. Is it 2,500? $220 and 2,500. Right, so 17, 37, 40, 50, 55. Very strange, isn't it? You didn't need to arm it. What I would have guessed from your rating. Yeah, now in terms of system simulation, I will give it an 8 out of 10 so far. We've had some glitches, the flickering there, a few glitches when we took off. It did not respect the altitude restrictions. So a few issues there, so I will give it an 8 out of 10. So overall, this is a 7.5 airplane. Yeah. I think the model and texture is much better in X-Craft. Yes, indeed. Even the sounds are much better in X-Craft, to be honest. It is worth buying. Again, a very authentic experience in terms of the on the Embraer. So I will give it a final. So far, I think 7.5 out of 10 is a fair and square price for this aircraft. Rating for this aircraft, considering you know, the texturing, the sounds, as well as the simulation of the systems. Definitely a nice aircraft to have in your hangar. Does it receive the seal of approval, which is the like the platinum plaque? So it is a Q8 pilot approved, but I would not give it the plaque. It would not receive a plaque at this point. So a minimum score of 8 is required for the plaque, for the silver plaque. A score of 9 gives it the gold plaque, and then, of course, a 10, only a very, very few aircraft have received the platinum plaque from the channel with a 10 out of 10 score. Very few. $55 is maybe too much. I think maybe you are right, Grant. Thank you very much, A320. Joshy, I love you. Q8, great content. Thank you very much, sir. I probably would have to agree with you, Grant. So on the price, I might knock down another 0.5 and give it a 7 out of 10. I'll give the aircraft 7 out of 10 because I do agree with you that it's a little bit on the higher end of things. It looks like we're too high for our current for the current segment of the flight. You can see this is the path that we want, and this is our current altitude. So maybe what I'll do, folks, is I'm going to go to manual speed, okay, and I'm going to reduce the speed to 205 knots, and I'm going to extend the speed brake and let the aircraft descend and reduce speed, because I don't think we'll make it at the desired altitude. So maybe just slightly more. There we go, 210. Okay. All right, so we slowed down a little bit. I'll give the aircraft a little bit more time to descend. We review things firmly, but fairly, as you see, QA. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, we're looking good so far. We are above the desired altitude for this segment of the flight. We'll see how things pan out. But looks like... yeah, it looks like we're a bit too high. Is there really a good Embraer series aircraft anywhere worth buying? FS 2020 maybe? Well, Ranger, the one in FS 2020 isn't that great, if you ask me. In my view, it's not all that great. All right, let's see. I'm just curious as to what Navigraph would give us in terms of the... Yeah, see, look at the descent to destination, 2,000 feet per minute. So we are definitely not at the right descent rate right now. So what we can do is go to VS, and we are going to increase our rate of descent to 2,400. All right, there we go. That should help us get to the desired altitude. The X-Craft offering is great. I agree. Yeah, we were definitely in. Let's see if we go again. It goes to FPA. Yeah. There we go. I think we've corrected that now. So I think we're looking okay now. All right, perfect. We can always go back to yeah, the speed. Speed is still manual. So if we look at the FMS speed, it's actually 210, 220. So what I will do now is I will switch to FMS speed, and it says 210. And we continue the descent. So we are looking good. And just, we'll remember 109.5 was the ILS frequency. Let me just use the speed brakes here a little bit. Exceed ceiling's altitude. All right. We're approaching 10,000, so landing lights are coming on. And fasten seatbelt signs are on. Okay, very good. And the ACR jets are nice. They are quite nice. On the org side, the developer is designed by Flight Procedure Simulation X SSG. So it looks like SGG has split off the Embraer. Yeah, it is developed by SSG, formerly, now currently known as Flight Procedure Simulation. Okay. So far, very few glitches in terms of the autopilot system, probably some of which are pilot-induced. I still think that an 8 out of 10 in terms of the system simulation is a fair and square rating, considering, again, these buttons are in-op. So definitely we cannot give it a 10 out of 10. And then for the few issues that we've encountered, we'll deduct a couple of points. We'll deduct another point and give it an 8. But overall, I'm very pleased with this aircraft. So far, so good. Okay, if we look down at the weather at London Heathrow, we'll see we have, again, variable winds, 354 knots, altimeter is 1025, temperature is 8, right, 1025. We're almost there, so we are going to set 1025. Oop, that's not it. There we go. 1025. Okay, 1025 is set. We are now in FMS speed. And we continue the descent to 2,500 feet. 3 Mori, welcome aboard. Hello, James. I'm sure it'll be better in time. I sure hope so. All right, it looks like we have entered into a cloud. So I am going to look here for the engine anti-ice. It should be automatic. DC pump, X-bleed, pressurization. Not sure where the anti-ice is. Electrical power. Does it have one? Or is it just automated? Strange. Well, anyway, we're out of the cloud, so there we go. Look for bleed valves opening on the ECAS. So I don't see anything here. Bleed valves. I'm not sure. Right, there we go. Let's go back to our map. 2500, so that's the alert, and that's exactly what you see on the real aircraft. You see it flashing like that. Now, there's some strange things going on here in terms of the profile, as you can see. Now, we are going to stop at exactly 2500. And we will maintain 2500 until established on final. Right, altitude. And 210 is the FMS speed. Yeah. What's up with the speed brake? There we go. All right. Let me change this here. Okay. All right, let's take a quick look at the radio. And we still don't have the frequency tuned. So we'll wait a little while. Obviously, we can change it manually if needed. But it's supposed to pick it up automatically. So we'll just leave it for now. These are default clouds, correct? But I'm using Active Sky for weather generation. Top right. Windshield heating, ice protection. Thank you very much, Osama. Appreciate it. God, I must have been blind looking looking over the overhead panel, not seeing them. Thank you, Osama, very much. I appreciate that. Okay. 2,500 feet. We are at 210. And if we look down here at the perf and go to the landing... no, we don't want to reset that. We have our speeds there set already. So we're looking good. And we can see that the localizer and the glide slope diamonds there are showing. If we look at the outside, look at that scene, guys. Wow. Yeah, we're definitely almost there now. And here's the turn towards the airport. We can go to manual speed, by the way. We have the comp VREF as 116, but let's see if the aircraft just goes to the selected. This is the center fix, and no, it doesn't. Oh, it does. That's 116. So it will reduce the speed. Okay. So what we'll do now, we are approximately 19 nautical miles from the airport. So we still have some time there. The turn is coming up. Radio. Aha! And ladies and gents, we have the frequency there captured automatically. 109.5 has automatically been captured. This is, again, something missing in the X-Craft, but available on the Embraer by FPS, which is pretty cool. 269 is the approach course. Ice condition. Ah, look at that. This is, I think, what Leonardo was talking about. It says icing condition, anti-ice wing valve open. And it's totally automatic. We didn't have to really do anything. So that is, again, accurate when icing conditions are detected. And here's the rain. I think someone wanted to see the rain at the beginning. I think it was you, Reggae. I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see the rain on the windshield now. So everything that you guys wanted to see is definitely now showing. You can see the aircraft reducing the speed. And we can also now select approach. So we're going to come here and select the approach. Autoland 1 is in the FMA. We have the speed, autopilot, auto throttle, LNAV, localizer, glide slope, both captured. And we are now making the turn towards the airport. 269 is our approach course. And localizer is captured. You can see it flashing here. We are approximately 13 nautical miles from the runway. Here is the turn. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Look at that. You have got to adore that scene in X-Plane. All right. There we go. Looking good. Speed is good. And we're going to go to flaps 1. Okay, flaps 1 is selected. 2,500 feet. Everything you see here in the FMA is very accurate according to my knowledge of the Embraer. So again, I think system-wise, I really like this aircraft. I really think it's worth, its asking price, considering everything. Right, we're looking good. And here's the turn towards the airport. We are approximately 8 nautical miles from London Heathrow. And here we go. We're going to go to flaps 2. And you can see that when you select the flaps, the speed changes automatically. And this is exactly what you'd expect in the real aircraft. This is in accordance with the real aircraft. Works exactly the same way. Apparently Nightbot is not set up for Discord today. All the invited... oh, really? Huh. I'll make sure I'll put the link after the stream. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Here we go. 160. We're looking good. We are about 5. All right, let's go ahead and select flaps 4. And we can see the needle starting to move down. And we're going to select gear down. All right, looking good. And flaps 5. We have the runway in sight. A little bit foggy here as we come into land at London Heathrow. And flaps full. You can see the speed. Again, respecting the speed in the FMC.
1,000.
All right, 1,000 feet. I just love the the view there. All right, autopilot disengaged. And my aircraft.
Flight slow. 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 Flight slow.
Trip.
$500. Flight slow. Flight minimums. Flight slow.
100.
Flight slow. Flight slow. 50. 40. 30.
That's a bit of a floater there.
30, 20, 10.
And welcome to London Heathrow. Reversers. I should have disconnected the auto throttle right before landing, but that's okay. And that has caused the float. But overall, the aircraft did everything it should do, or we expect it to do, in terms of the systems. I'm quite impressed, guys. I am really impressed with the rendition of the FPS Embraer. Everything that you expect the aircraft to do, it actually performed. So in terms of the simulation, I think it's a very, very authentic simulation. There are a few glitches that needs to be ironed out, but I think it was. Yeah, I think they've done a really good job with the simulation of the aircraft systems, without a doubt. So I'm quite happy with what this aircraft delivers to us flight simmers. Quite honestly. Right, do we have a parking spot here? This is a beautiful rendition of London Heathrow by Time Model. Right, we have one here. Excellent. So we're going to take this stand here. Stand 590. And you can see that we've been properly identified as E-190. Okay. All right. And parking brake is set. Brilliant. All right. Come here to the overhead panel. We can start the APU or connect ground power unit. So that's the ground power unit. And we can now turn off the engines. Aha. So what I've done is when we turned off the engines, I toggled the flaps, and because the engines are off, there is no hydraulic power, and the flaps stopped there, which is pretty cool, I have to say. So yeah, it is, again, you can see the detent of the slats there. Very, very nice. I am tempted to do a replay. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but to do that, one thing we'll do is we'll close off. Yes, we want to remove it, and we're going to also kill the traffic. So global traffic. Let's see here. Plugins, show plugin admin. Let's close Navigraph charts. And let's go to traffic global. Where is traffic global? There we go. That's traffic global. And we're going to disable it. And I'm going to attempt to do a replay. Let's see if it works, guys. Ah, woo! That was an instant crash there by X-Plane. Yeah, I figured it was gonna crash. So. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the replay, unfortunately. But I figured that. But you guys have seen. I think we've seen the beautiful approach into London Heathrow, yeah. So we're going to bring it back to. Actually, let's put it back at London Heathrow, and I will just leave it there. That's fine. So. What are my concluding remarks on the flight procedure simulation Embraer E-190 for X-Plane 12? Generally speaking, the aircraft delivers on what it advertises to deliver. So whatever FPS or flight procedure simulation advertises on the product page, I think it pretty much delivers that. Now, in terms of the texturing, I think the aircraft can use a little bit of improvement. I think the exterior textures are done a lot better than the interior of the aircraft. The passenger cabin seems very archaic and kind of dated in terms of the textures. Nonetheless, for those of you who like a passenger cabin, there is one there. So there is one that ships with the aircraft, which is a plus. There are some really nice details on the exterior model, which I do like and do appreciate, especially on the landing gear, on the cargo doors and the service doors of the aircraft. The aircraft wing and engines are definitely done very, very well, in my view, in terms of the modeling, while the texturing still, I think, needs a little bit of work in order to get it to, to get, for example, an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Currently, in terms of the texturing, the exterior model, I give it a 7 out of 10 overall. The interior texturing, I give it probably a 6.5 out of 10. It is reasonable, but I expect a little bit better quality. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So it needs a little bit of work. Overall, I think maybe, from the visual perspective, I think the aircraft between 6.5 and 7. I'll be more lenient with the developer and give him a 7 out of 10 just because they have done considerable improvements in terms of the textures from the previous. When this aircraft first released, the textures were really bad. So they have made some effort there to improve the textures. So we want to give him some kudos and some, pat on the back for listening to the community and working on the textures. In terms of the aircraft sounds, I seriously believe that they are lacking. They are definitely F-mod sounds. So these are not the default X-plane sounds, but I still don't find them to be very immersive. And again, we have a point of reference to compare this aircraft to, which is the X-Craft model, which has beautiful visuals and very, very nice sounds as well, which, of course, some of the sounds are recorded from the real aircraft on the X-Craft version. Now, when it comes to system simulation, I cannot say that the aircraft is error-free. There are a few glitches that we've encountered, some of which were pilot-induced, I understand, but there were also a few things that are probably bugs that will need fixing. But in terms of the overall operation of the aircraft, I believe that this aircraft very closely resembles the systems and the operation of the real Embraer. According to my knowledge and what I've learned, and from all accounts from real-world Embraer pilots, I have gained a lot of knowledge about the Embraer and its systems. So we know for a fact what happens during LNAV and VNAV. We know that the real Embraer has the FMS and the manual speeds, and all of this is simulated. We also know that the aircraft will auto-tune the ILS, which we have seen. The annunciation on the FMA there and the autopilot system seems to work exactly like the real aircraft, with all the warnings, the messages. Though the aircraft did not respect the restrictions in terms of the altitude restrictions, that is, I still believe that the rendition of the systems is done to a high degree of fidelity on this flight procedure simulation E-190 for X-Plane 12. I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. I hope that this was insightful and useful and will help you decide whether the FPS E-190 is a good investment for you or not. Tomorrow, ladies and gents, we are going to be doing a review of the Just Flight Piper 38 Tomahawk. And let me tell you now that it is actually a pretty cool aircraft. So Congratulations to MT Aviation for winning the giveaway today. And I'll tell you what, guys, if you come back tomorrow for the Tomahawk review and we get 100 likes on that stream, we're going to run another giveaway. And we're just going to run it exactly like we did today for another $50 voucher redeemable at your favorite store, either the X-Plane or SimMarket. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and good night.